Collins running out of real estate. Heads back upfield. 25 to the 30. The 35 to 40. The 45 to 50. He has only Kovalevsky to beat. Gets through him. The 10 and touchdown for Collins.
Garte looks to throw. He fires toward the goal line. And that is caught by Kadeem Wilson for a game-winning Gators touchdown.
Back on in, here's Yoxon. Yoxon to the backhand, trying to go to the front, makes the move, a shot, and he scores!
Rowan heading for the touchpad with the lead, and the Profs will take the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
He sends one on goal, and he scores! Jonah Popre scores for the second time tonight. And it is a power play goal!
The pressure is there. Wilson putting it in the end zone. It is up for grabs. Did someone come down with it? No, incomplete. The Pharaohs are the 2022 EFA champions.
Live from South Shore Little League in Staten Island, New York, the PDF Sports Network is proud to welcome you into coverage of the 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship. Today, we begin our Day 1 coverage with the championship's opening ceremony, featuring a parade into the complex and a chance to meet the 8 teams that will be looking to move one step closer to a spot in the 2023 Little League World Series. Good morning, everybody. My name is Joe Foreman, alongside my broadcast partner, Andrew Rotundo. And Andrew, here at PDF, our coverage of this week's Little League Baseball Championship is something we've been looking forward to for a very long time. Our coverage opens with 4 games today, the first 2 coming up at 11 a.m. right here at South Shore Little League.
All very valid, Joe. Thank you so much for having me on the broadcast this week. It is such an honor to be calling the New York State Little League Baseball Championship as a part of PDF Sports Network. And as you said, we've been waiting a long time for this. There's been so much hype behind this. I felt like the playoff atmosphere just walking in here. As soon as I walked in the complex, I felt it. And I'm expecting some of the most intense Little League baseball I've ever seen, starting right at 11 with Plainview Little League facing South Shore Little League.
Before we get to this week's opening ceremony and our first games of the day, let's talk about the format of this year's championship. And I do want to make a correction. Our first game will officially start at 11:30 a.m., so 30 minutes later than expected, but 11:30 for first pitch. So if you tune in at 11, you'll be 30 minutes early for our first game of the day. 8 teams will compete round-robin style in 2 randomly selected 4-team divisions to open this week's play. Each team will play the other 3 teams in their division once each. 1 game today, 1 game tomorrow, and 1 game on Thursday. After that, the top 2 teams in each division will move on to the semifinal round on Friday. The winners of the 2 semifinal matchups will then face off in the championship game on Saturday.
Yeah, Joe, and as I mentioned earlier, I think these teams will waste no time putting it all out there, giving everything they got, as each team only has 3 games. All 3 of these games are going to matter for each of these teams. Only 4 teams go forth to the semifinal on Friday, and I expect each and every one of these guys and every team will be giving 110% right from the opening pitch. Every at-bat matters. It's only 3 games to prove themselves and move forward.
Though our format this week features round-robin play followed by a single-elimination semifinal and a single-elimination final round, this is not going to be the case at every site hosting championships this week. Some other sites will play a double-elimination bracket-style tournament that some of our viewers may have become familiar with from past seasons. From Monday through Thursday here at South Shore and over at Great Kills, the objective for the 8 teams is simple. Make sure you finish with one of the 2 best records in your respective division to secure a spot in the semifinals on Friday and ultimately the championship on Saturday.
Absolutely, Joe. And I find it interesting that different sites hosting similar championships to this are going by a different style of bracket completely. I mean, round robin is a completely different format. You have to think the guys playing here and over at Great Kills have it a bit tougher as opposed to double elimination, as double elimination means there's more of a margin for error and more of a chance to redeem yourself if you lose early on in the bracket. In round robin, you have to get going early and not look back in order to advance.
As I mentioned before, there are 8 teams competing in this week's championship. Each of those 8 teams represents one of the region's Little Leagues and is made up of that league's all-stars. We'll get a chance to meet the players shortly, but we certainly expect to be treated to some good baseball and several exciting matchups throughout the week.
Well, you know we're going to see some magic in each and every one of these games with that amount of star power on each of these teams. It's going to be close. It's going to be intense. There will definitely be a lot of fiery moments today, Joe, having us and the fans here at the edge of their seats. And like I said, I think we will see it right from the first pitch of Game 1 all the way through Saturday's championship, and it's not going to let up.
We're certainly looking forward to all of that here on the PDF Sports Network. Each and every game will be covered in its entirety throughout the week, including Wednesday's skills competition, home run derby, and more. So be sure to tune in on Wednesday as well. No games Wednesday, but we do have additional coverage as well on Wednesday afternoon. But, Andrew, a lot on the line for these teams. This week also presents a chance for some of the best Little League players in the region to showcase their talent in front of a capacity crowd and perhaps an even larger audience watching at home here on the PDF Sports Network. A great opportunity coming up for these young players.
Absolutely. These kids have to be excited to be here, Joe. Of course, the nerves might be there, and they want to be as focused as possible for these games, but to be some of the best players in the region and just to be involved in this tournament, they have to be having fun. They have to be stoked, and that matters a ton. To add to that, they have a great opportunity to show what they've got to even more of an audience through PDF Sports Network. I'm sure it gets them pumped to know that this is being broadcast past the fans in these seats. And as you mentioned, it's going to be a great representation of how some of the best players can come together and win. It's just a matter of which team of all-stars can go the furthest, Joe.
Well, Andrew, there is not an open seat in the seating bowl, and the concourse is very quickly filling up. So as we wait for these teams to arrive here at South Shore, many of them are gathered on the concourse as we speak. We're going to step aside and take a quick break. After a brief message from our sponsors, we will turn it over to public address and meet the 8 teams participating in the 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship. Day 1 of our coverage continues when we come back right here on the PDF Sports Network. We are back here on the PDF Sports Network. Joe Foreman rejoining you, soon to be rejoined by my broadcast partner, Andrew Rotundo, but that will have to wait as our opening ceremony for this 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship is about to get underway. At this time, we're going to turn it down to field level and public address as we get a chance to meet the 8 teams that will be participating in this week's championship. When you hear sound over our headsets once again, the ceremony has begun from South Shore Little League.
On behalf of myself and the South Shore Little League Board of Directors, and on behalf of Great Mills Little League President Robert Pascal and his Board of Directors, and on behalf of District 24, District Administrator Frank Cambria, I would like to welcome all of you, players, families, our friends, fans, and special guests to Staten Island, New York, to the South Shore Little League, the 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship Tournament. We are extremely honored and happy to have you with us here today. This year's tournament is being hosted jointly at 2 great Little League complexes in District 24 on Staten Island. Here at South Shore Little League and also at the Great Mills Little League. Today's opening ceremonies and parade of champions is being held at the Joseph A. Berdino Jr. Field of Dreams, the home of South Shore Little League. Game action will begin here at South Shore Little League this morning and move to Great Mills Little League Complex later this evening. where Great Mills President Rob Pascal and his team will be your hosts. Rob, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Ben. Thank you all who's come down and participated in this tournament. Congratulations to all the players and the parents of New York State. It's a real honor to host this year's tournament at South Shore Little League and Great Mills Little League. It's especially special for us because this is our 70th year and anniversary. 70 years at Great Hills. What an honor to hold this state tournament. And thank you all. I wish all the players all the luck in the world, and to all the parents, thank you for your support and your dedication to your sons, daughters, grandkids, whoever you have out there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rob. So now, let's get to the moment we've all been waiting for. The 2023 Parade of Champions. Let's get these boys on the field. Each one of these teams is already a champion in their own right, having had to battle through and win tough district and sectional tournaments just to get here. Introducing first, please welcome the champions from Section 1 East, the Maine and Wells Little League. Maine and Wells is managed by Dan Hennessy, the coaches Cliff Stewart and Tony Polidare. Your champions from Section 1 West, please welcome the Penfield Little League. Penfield is managed by Travis Sherson, with coaches Dan Lanning and Steve Deitch. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your champions from Section 2 North, the Saratoga Springs National Little League. Saratoga is managed by Chris Lansing, with coaches Garrett Murphy and Joshua Cup. Entering the stadium now, please welcome the champions from Section 2 South, the East Greenbush Castleton Little League. East Greenbush is managed by Joe Franchini, with coaches Don and Selman and Davidson Greco. And now your champions from Section 4 East. Please welcome the Plainview Little League. Plainview is managed by Ian Bogatti, with coaches Mike Davidson and Brad Eisenstein. And now, please welcome the champions from Section 4 West, the Massapequa Coast Little League. Massapequa is managed by John Henchey, with coaches Adam Weiss and Brian Kemper. Your champions from Section 3 North. Please welcome Cornwall, Italy. Cornwall is managed by Jim Cosgrove, with coaches Pat Purcell and Drew Van Dam. And ladies and gentlemen, it gives me special pleasure to introduce this next team, your champions from Section 3 South, the South Shore Little League. South Shore is managed by Michael Zaccarillo and coaches Ricky Giamano and Ron Politano. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a nice big round of applause for our 8 sectional champions? At this time, I would ask that everyone please rise, remove your hats, and face the flag located in the center of our complex behind the third base line for the playing of our national anthem. thank you. We have a special guest here today. I'd like to introduce him. He's the real driving force behind bringing this state tournament here to Staten Island. None of this would have been possible without his guidance and his leadership. Please welcome District 24 Administrator, Mr. Frank Cambria.
Thank you, Ben. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on behalf of New York State Little League President Danny Cavello and his executive staff, we welcome you to the 2023 New York State Little League Tournament. I am District Administrator Frank Cambria, and standing before us are the 8 best Little League teams in New York State. Just to show you how impressive their accomplishments are to get to this point, there are 38 districts, 400 leagues, and 1,300 teams. And on this field are the final 8 teams. Give them a real nice round of applause here. All right, let's meet the teams. And I'm starting right over here. We have Section 1 East Champions, Maine and Well. President Cliff Stewart. Give a nice round of applause, everybody. Section 1 West Champions, Penfield Little League. President Mike Baxter. And their section administrators, Ken Lisgang. All right, Section 2 North Champions, Saratoga Springs National Little League. President Derek Legal. Section 2 South Champions, East Greenbush Castleton Little League. President Ron Casal. And their district section administrator is Dan Solomon. Section 4 East Champions, Plainfield Little League. President Aaron Wynn. Section 4 West Champions, Massapequa Coast Little League. President Greg Garland. And their section administrator, Todd Kohler. And last but not least, Section 3, North Champions, Cornwall Little League, President Lynn Basica. And Section 3, South Champions, South Shore Little League, President Ben Defferbach. And their section administrator, Chris Amorosa. All right, and we got the teams. All right, I'd like to take a moment to honor 2 Little League presidents we lost this year. Anthony Vivaro from Snug Harbor Little League in Section 3, and Tom Baxter from Penfield Little League in Section 1. Both made significant contributions to the Little League and the communities. Can we please have a moment of silence? Thank you. All right, let's get ready to go here. I'd like to bring out Christian Falzone and Vincenzo Novello to recite the Little League pledge. Now I'd like to bring out Gina Esposito to recite the Little League pledge.
I will teach all children to play fair and do their best. I will positively support all managers, coaches, and players. I will respect the decisions of the umpires. I will praise a good effort despite the outcome of the game.
Thank you both. Great. All right, let's all remember, Little League is about teamwork, sportsmanship, and making friends and having fun. It allows us to build great memories for our children, parents, and grandparents. So let's keep it fun for the children. I'd like to introduce some special people in attendance. Quite often we have our host, League President Ben Defamel. District 24/7 presidents. That we have Rob Pascal from Great Hill, Ben from South Shore, John Plezowitz from Mid Island, Dennis Thompson from Snug Harbor, Vinny Pimpinella from Staten Island Little League, Karen Marcillo, East Shore Little League, and Nikki Santarell from West Shore Little League. Tournament coordinator John Singari, who put most of all this together. ADA's Joe Messia, Candace Graham, Mike Collini, Joe DeMayo, Brian Kennedy, Dean Pecoraro, John Matera, Jamie Remschnick, Alan Turgeson, and of course the voice of South Shore, Johnny Johnson. All right. Today we have our attendance is our Assemblyman Sam Perazzolo. I'd like to let him say a couple of words to the people.
Good morning. I really don't want to deal with the festivities, but I'm writing me down and helping me knock me down and say hello a little bit. So I would like to say thank you very much. Have a good day. Have a good game. Great season. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have a great week planned. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday will be pool play games. Friday, the semifinal games, which will be the top two teams from each pool. And Saturday, the two ones will face off in the championship game, which will declare us New York State champion. Wednesday will be a fun day. We'll have a skills competition with 3 events, and all players will have a chance to participate for their teams. Following the skills competition, we'll have a big picnic on the fields. That will be held at Great Hills Little League. Then to cap the day off, all the teams will be honored on the field at the Staten Island Ferry Hawks game, and they will march onto the field as a parade with their banners and see Yankee great Hideki Matsui throughout the first pitch on the field. I want to wish all the teams the best of luck. Have a great tournament, and I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Ben Defamel. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Frank. At this time, we would like to throw out our first pitch of the 2023 tournament. As this tournament will be hosted jointly by South Shore Little League and Great Hills Little League, Rob Pascal and I wanted to have someone important to both leagues throw out the first pitch. And this will be a surprise for this gentleman, as he does not know he was selected. For the past 5 years, this man has guided District 24 and all of the fine little leagues on Staten Island as our district administrator, always putting the kids first, and always striving to do the right thing, and not just the easy thing. He's the main reason why we're standing here today, hosting all of you for a New York State Championship tournament. You've already heard him speak today. Mr. Frank Cambria, will you please step forward? Catching the first pitch today, Vincenzo Novello from South Shore Little League. Thank you, Frank. Well deserved. Ladies and gentlemen, this kind of tournament does not happen without the work of many, many volunteers. Some who stay behind the scenes, and others who you will see throughout your week with us. Too many people to mention them all one by one, but please know that we recognize you, and we are truly grateful for your time and efforts. I do want to especially thank John Singari and Joe Macia who really were instrumental in putting all of this together. Thank you, guys. And to our parents, our players, and our coaches, I know you are all here to compete and try your hardest to win and move on to Bristol. But please, don't forget at some point during the week, win or lose, to take a step back and just really enjoy this experience. Players, enjoy this time with your friends and your teammates. Parents, enjoy this time with your children and your families. These are memories that will last a lifetime. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our ceremony for today. Please remember that Game 1 of the tournament between Plainview Little League and South Shore Little League kicks off at approximately 11:30 a.m., followed by Cornwall Little League versus Maine Endwell at 2:30 p.m. This evening, the action moves over to Great Kills for another doubleheader. Thank you, everyone. Have a great tournament, and good luck to all of you.
And we are back from South Shore Little League. Joe Foreman rejoining you alongside Andrew Rotundo. And you just saw our opening ceremony for this 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship, the Parade of Champions, kicking off the week here at South Shore. And Andrew, these teams are the 8 best from hundreds of leagues out of thousands of teams. A truly tremendous accomplishment to make it this far, and a chance to move one step closer to the Little League World Series begins in just about an hour and a half for 2 of these teams.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. And like you said, even just to make it this far is truly an accomplishment. I mean, hundreds of leagues and thousands of teams, and just 8 standing before us here on this field, and they have a chance to, go even further. But like I said, even just to this point, it's got to be an accomplishment to beat out all those other teams, and this is going to be a great representation of some great baseball and great Little League today.
No question about it, Andrew. And before we sign off for our first broadcast of the day, a short one, as we cover the Parade of Champions, we'll be back with you at approximately 11:20 a.m. for a brief pregame ahead of our first game of the day. That will see Plainview taking on South Shore. And Andrew, South Shore might have quite the home field advantage here at South Shore Little League. The fans definitely making some extra noise for them as they took the field. They got the final introduction, a final boss, if you'd say, but nonetheless, South Shore takes the field first against Plainview. South Shore, the home team. That game gets started at 11:30. Maine Ainwell takes on Cornwall at 2:30. And then we shift our attention over to Great Kills Little League. Saratoga Springs faces Massapequa Coast. And then East Greenbush takes on Penfield at 8 o'clock. That first game between Saratoga Springs and Massapequa Coast at 5 p.m. We'll have those games for you as well. I'll be shifting venues after the first game. So, Andrew, you and I have the call of Game 1 coming up at 11:30. You have the call alongside Dave Pizzuto for Game 2 at 2:30. And then I'll have the call alongside Nick Bavona, our colleague here at PDF Sports Network, at 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. over at Great Kills. But until our first game of the day, this is Joe Foreman signing off. Again, I was joined by Andrew Rotundo. He will be my broadcast partner for Game 1 coming up next here on the PDF Sports Network. Tune back in at approximately 11:20 a.m. for our coverage of Game 1 in this 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship.
Attention local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.